Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 508, we're going to talk about Kazuul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. Now, there aren't that many of these decks out and around. According to EDH Rec, there's only 55. Well, I guess that would be 56 now. But let's see why. 5 mana, 5/4, legendary creature over warrior. Okay, whatever. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, you get a 3/3 ogre unless they pay 3. Now, we all know from things like Smothering Tide and Mystic Remore and stuff like that, people don't like to pay that extra 3 because they like to tap out. And unless they have just obscene amounts of mana, you're probably going to get this ogre. Now, free 3/3s, but the problem is they have to attack. But here's the kicker. They don't have to. Oh, yes, they do have to attack you if you're the defending player. So they've got to attack you. Gotcha. So, okay. Couple different ways you can go with this, and I'll tell you exactly how I went, because I'll be honest with you. There are a few cards that work really, really well with Kazuul by tapping out lands and stuff like that, but there's not that many. We'll get to those. But my theme for the deck was ogres, because you know what? This is a cool tribe. At least I think it's a cool tribe. Now they don't have a lot of cool cards, but ogres. Let's look at ogres. Shinka Gatekeeper. Now, ogres are, what is it? I don't know if they're slightly more intelligent than goblins, but they are certainly bigger. Shinka Gatekeeper, not that amazing. Is dealt damage, it deals that much to you. Defiant Ogre is modal, for 6 mana, you get a 3/5 ogre. Call Sisma Behemoth Ogre. Can't attack or block unless you pay 2, but it's a 3 mana 5/5. So Mardu Blazebringer. Ogres are not obviously known to be the most intelligent species. Goblins may actually be smarter than. It's a 3 mana 4/4 that has if it attacks or blocks, you sack it. Kazuul's Toll Collector. Yeah, I know this is not seeming like an amazing tribe, but wait for it. Toll Collector I really like. It's 3 mana 3/2, but you can spend 0 to attack target equipment you control to it. I mean, it's a sorcery speed ability, but hey, that's really neat, especially when we're running stuff like Colossus Hammer and then, of course, the Darksteel Axe, just because. Blood Ogre, Bloodthirst, Wrecking Ogre, Double Strike, right? Reckless Brute, Ogre Gear Grabber, Sakinzan Bruiser, Mountain Wolf, Tyrant Ogre. If you control another creature power 4, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. I mean, that's not bad for 4/3, right? I mean, yeah, I know. We're forcing a tribe. But you know what? It's going to be worth it. Ogre Sentry, that 2 mana 3/3 with Defender. Frost Ogre. Proof that I don't. This should be a snow creature. I mean, it should. It's a Frost Ogre, but it came out before that mechanic was around. Ogre Recluse. Barrage Ogre. Yeah, I had a lot of these in full because, let's face it, I wasn't using them anywhere else. Atarka Pummeler. Indentured Oath. Let's look at the Ogre Battle Driver. Now, this one, another creature enters the battlefield under your control. That creature gets +2 and gains haste. Heck yeah. And then I want to talk a little bit about the Onaki Ogre. Yes, I know it's a vanilla creature, but the Onaki are, if you notice, there's no drawback here. The Onaki are intelligent. Actually, the Onaki are the ones that forge the Chain Veil. So, hey. So how are we going to Yeah. None of those are exactly cheap. They start at what, 3? Some of them 2. So we got a prismatic lens and a heraldic banner, uh, desperate ritual, seething song, and of course the big daddy of them all, mana geyser, because that card is just insane. Um, Card draw and tormenting voice, wild guess, faithless looting. We're playing mono red, so Claws of Valak is pretty good. Have I kept y'all off long enough? Okay. Did you notice something in common about all of those ogres? They're all ogre warriors. That's right. Lovisa Cold Eyes is going to give them another +2. Pretty sweet, right? The Bright Hearth is going to make them 1 cheaper because they're warriors. And Bold We're Intimidator is going to rule the combat step because you don't have to spend the high price 3 mana to make your creatures warriors. They already are. You just spend the 1 mana to start turning things into cowards. So your guys can't be blocked. Now there are some, but that's not enough, right? That's not very many creatures, especially for a tribe. So we needed something else, some other kind of theme. So red enchantments. Here we go. Gratuitous violence. Now keep in mind, I kind of played off of the idea that ogres are. What was the quote from Shrek? A big dumb ogre. So gratuitous violence going to double their damage. Mass hysteria going to give them haste. I know there's better cards, and this hastes the entire board. But you know what? I don't think ogres care that much. Grand melee. You know, everything attacks, everything blocks. The combat step is what it's all about. Let's do this. Dictator of the Twin Gods. Let's double some damage. Seismic Assault. Let's pitch some lands that we don't need to deal 2 damage. Rivalry. During each player's upkeep, if that player controls more lands, they take a shock. So, I mean, it's beautiful. It hurts that one player that's turbo ramping. War's Coal. Check this out. This I liked. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, tap all their lands. If a creature they control attack, all their creatures attack. Now this is just for your opponent. That's what makes it sweet. Goblin War Drums makes it so you got a double block. Oh. Ancient Ruins. Yeah, I know we got some artifacts, but you know what? It doesn't. I mean, we don't have a lot. Do we think that ogres are smart enough to think of that? No, because they're probably going to bust their own artifacts up anyway. Yeah, we're coming to that. Mana Barbs, because, you know, sometimes it hurts to play Magic. And Mana Barbs does speed up a game, one way or another. If not for everybody, if just for you. Impatience. Is that not just an ogre philosophy right there? Do something. And then Scald. Yeah, because Scald's really, I'm not going to say the only color hate, but it's a decent color hate because, you know, islands are going to be our worst enemy. Can I clear that up a little bit? There we go. So let's look at some other random buttery goodness. Cleaver Riot, because that's a total ogre thing, you know. Everybody has having double strike. Relentless Assault, another combat step. Word of Seasoning. Mine. Shatterstorm, blowing up all the things that are rocks. Wake of Destruction. Now this is a card because I played 60 card Magic for so many years. This was a card in the early EDH days. I was playing around. I was like, man, what if they've got Wake of Destruction? I would run like half basic planes and half snow covered planes so I didn't get blown out by Wake of Destruction. Then I realized that not a lot of people know about this card. So, but anyway, Wake of Destruction, it can be a killer. Mass Mutiny, you know, that's we're still in heavy combat, ogre, not thinking, blood rushing kind of stuff. Impact resonance, amount of damage already dealt. So now let's look at some, what are we calling this? Removal, I guess. Pyroclasm. Outpost Siege probably shouldn't be in here because we're probably going to use it to do the card draw thing, honestly. Let's look at Meltdown. Now, I know that as far as artifact removal, that we have a lot of really good options. But I think Meltdown doesn't give the credit it deserves, simply because, I mean, that's each artifact with total casting cost X or less. Yeah, there's some that are better. You know what? There's a lot that's worse. Incinerate, Shivan Meteor, Cave In. Now, I'm running Smash because I wanted it. Well, first off, it's the name, right? I mean, and it draws a card. Don't worry, I'm running Shatter too. Yeah, I know there's more, and I know that feels like there's kind of overkill on artifact destruction there, but ogres. I mean, And then our last non-land card is Fireball. I mean, it's Fireball. It seems like no matter what game you play, Fireball is basic magic. In our game, it's been around literally forever. It was in alpha, and so it's not hard magic that ogres couldn't grasp. And you know what? Woo! It's a beautiful thing with Mana Geyser. So let's look at our non-basics here. Actually got a few. Of course, y'all know about the Rogue's Passage, the Desert of the Fervent, Forgotten Cave cycling lands, Smoldering Crater, the 3 cycle lands, Dormant Volcano for a double land. Spine Rock, no, why not? We're that dealing 7 damage to an opponent, or if an opponent was dealt, so it doesn't have to be by you. That's cool. Shivan Gorge, though. I kind of like, I mean, yes, Shivan Gorge did get the shaft as far as that cycle went, because the other cards in that cycle were Tolarian Academy, Sarah's Sanctum, Gaia's Cradle, Phyrexian Tower, and Shivan Gorge. Yeah, I mean, but dealing 1 damage to each of your opponents is not nothing. And then lastly, our last card of the deck is Tower of the Magistrate. And man, I wish I'd had a Sharpie when I asked him to sign that. But anyway, or did I get that from somebody? I don't remember. Anyway, Tower of the Magistrate. What I love about Tower of the Magistrate and how it fits in here is what it says is 1 mana tap, target creature drops all their equipment. Yeah. It just unequips everything. So that's more the reason why I kind of like to play it. But that is it for Kazuul. I kind of like Kazuul. Oh, here. Get up here. I like the idea. This is an example of one of those decks that, doesn't appear like it's going to be very much or very exciting, but I love the warrior sub-theme because they're all ogre warriors. Even our commander's an ogre warrior, so I'm sure y'all probably saw that coming. Let's get our ogre tokens. And that is deck number 508. That's what we got for that one. Now, I'm going to continue to build on. Might do, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Might do another recap video. 200 to 300, I think, is what's coming next. But I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.